Hello viewers, my name is Dr. Rajul Dutt. In continuation to my previous lecture video pertaining to marketing middlemen, I discussed about the classification of middlemen wherein I emphasized upon the mercantile agents and the types of mercantile agents. In this section now, I will focus on the merchant middlemen, that is about wholesalers and the services provided, and in upcoming lecture video I will discuss about retailers and various types of retailers. Now coming to the classification of the middleman, that is wholesaler. In this video, as I said, I'm focusing on the wholesaler and their functions and their contribution in this channel system, in the distribution system. So the term wholesaler applies to all merchants or traders who purchase and sell in large quantities. A wholesaler provides an important link between a firm and a retailer. So that means the wholesaler is a link between, is in the middle, and on one side there is a manufacturing firm and on the other side is the retailer, and he has to work in the close association of both these parties on the extreme ends. The wholesaler purchases in bulk and sells in small lots to the retailers or the industrial users, as the case may be. So, it is now, let us understand as to who are the types of the wholesaler. So, the wholesaler can broadly be divided on their basis of the functions, on the basis of their operations, into three major categories. Uh, Pure wholesaler, the second is the manufacturer wholesaler, and the third is retailer wholesaler. So let me discuss about as to what is the uh, slight differentiation when we talk about the wholesaler in terms of the pure wholesaler, manufacturer wholesaler, and the retailer wholesaler. So the first is the pure wholesaler. The pure wholesaler is a merchant who concentrates entirely on buying and selling in large lots and does not engage in manufacturing or retailing operations. Generally, the pure wholesaler, as to what we are referring to as pure wholesaler, maintain warehouses for storing goods and also arranges for transportation, for transfer of goods to the retailer. So this is the person who generally is not engaged in any kind of manufacturing or in retailing operations. However, the storing of goods and then transporting of the stored goods to the retailers, to the point of retail, uh, to make available in small lots. Second is the manufacturer wholesaler. The manufacturer wholesaler undertakes the manufacture of goods along with distribution rather to the retailers, and may also distribute the goods to the other manufacturers. So, this is a kind of an operating aspect is related with it. The purpose of combining these two functions is to reduce the overhead expenses per unit of product handled. So therefore, this manufacturer wholesaler does the double job in order to bring down the overhead expenses, maybe in transportation, in storage, and with the people who are working with this wholesaler. And third is the retailer wholesaler. Now, the retailer wholesaler combines his wholesale business with the functions of retail trade. He therefore purchases goods from the manufacturers in large quantities and sells them to the retailers and ultimate consumers through his retail outlets. So he makes his retail outlets, and from those retail outlets, he distributes the goods. For example, he is based on at point A. Now, at point B or the city B or the geographical state B, for example, So there he opens up his own retail outlets, and from those retail outlets he gives to other retailers in small quantities. So this is where the types of wholesalers. Now, the another aspect is related with the functions of the wholesaler as to how to categorize the various functions of the wholesalers. So the wholesalers performs the functions as mentioned on this slide. So I've grouped all these functions into 7 categories, or the total functions being performed into 7 categories for our own understanding. So first is the buying and assembling. The wholesalers make an estimate of demand for the goods and then purchase and assemble different varieties of goods from different manufacturers spread throughout the country. So this is buying and assembling, that is he buys from the various manufacturers and then assemble all the products in his storage, and then he uses it for different products or the different kinds of products to different retailers for selling, and the whole process makes money through commission, based on commission basis or through commission. Second is storage. Wholesalers keeps the goods assembled by them in their warehouses to supply them to retailers whenever they require. They help the manufacturers and the retailers by making storage arrangements. So one of the important aspect of wholesaler is that they store the large quantity. Not the benefit to the manufacturer is that the wholesaler buys in bulk, and then the basically, and the retailer then goes to the wholesaler, approach to the wholesaler, and buys in small quantities. So this way, the transaction is being made easy for both the parties, and it becomes the central place where the manufacturers, they are able to sell the bulk quantities, and the retailers, they are able to buy from them in small quantities. Third function of a wholesaler is transportation. The wholesalers makes transportation arrangement from the premises of the manufacturers to their own godowns or storing areas. From their godowns to the retail stores, and from their own godowns they send it to the various retailers as and when the retailers ask for the product. They often maintain their own fleet of vehicles for this purpose. Now, if it is local, they have got their small, maybe bullock carts, or if it is, say, a distance is more, the wholesaler, they have got their own fleet of small trucks, maybe tempos or big trucks, to transport it to the retailers who are at various distant places. Grading and packaging is another function. The wholesalers grade the goods according to certain standards which they have purchased from different manufacturers, and they also undertake the packaging of goods in convenient lots. So, according to the maybe the quality, maybe the price aspects related with the goods, so they segregate the goods into different categories, and sometimes they packet these different categories. For example, packaging here means, so 100 packets being put in one carton, and another, for example, there is a 200 requirement of 200, or the retailer asks for 200 or 300 plus products. So therefore the packaging is done accordingly, and the material of packaging material is also being selected and done according to the requirement of the number one, transportation aspect, and number two, to keep the product in good condition. And then their function is the financing function. The wholesalers provide financial support to both the manufacturers and the retailers. They sometimes give advance to the manufacturer so as to book the stocks being available with company and or the manufacturer. So now in another way they becomes the wholesaler. For example, they know about the, say, demand for the product, and or they foresee that there will be a shortage in the supply from the manufacturer. So they put on their money, they give the money to the manufacturer in advance and book the lot for themselves, because their own function, as I've discussed earlier, is to the more this give it to these retailers, the more commission it is based on the percentage, for example, per piece, for example. So the per piece percentage or the commission is fixed, and therefore the more they sell, the more commission they get, and therefore they always look out for to so that the supply from the manufacturer to them is uninterrupted, and therefore in a way they finance the manufacturer with the money or to book the lot in advance. So another is the promotion aspect. Now, when we talk about promotions, the wholesaler's job does not end with the selling of goods to the retailers. They perform advertising and other sales promotion aspects. Activities in order to promote their sale for the products. Now, advertising is being done by the wholesaler because, as I said just now, that their main business is to earn by way of commission. More commission is based upon more sales or the movement of more products, and therefore it is in their own interest, and they advertise, and they also have certain sales promotion techniques. Maybe for the retailers, the more the retailers they sell the product on at the counter, so these wholesalers, they they have got certain schemes so that the best retailer or the retailer who has been able to sell more of the particular product in a given time, and therefore more facilities, maybe more credits, maybe for recognition, so on and so forth. They have got their own schemes working for the retailers. And the seventh and the last and the function is important to discuss about the various functions of wholesaler is the risk taking. Wholesalers assume a large number of risks in the process of distribution of goods. In a way, these risks may occur on accounts of changes in price and demands. Now, because they buy the product in lots, and these lots, if they are in the is being kept with the wholesaler stored for a longer time, there might be a possibility that the competitor may enter into it, or the demand and supply equations, they they comes to a disequilibrium stage, and therefore it will have the impact on the prices, because again the products which are say consumer products, they are more so are based on maybe say for example fashion industry, maybe, or fast moving goods. They are largely dependent upon the taste and preferences of the consumers, and we know that the taste and preferences of the consumers, that may change at any moment of time. So they perform also, they undertake various marketing risks, and which would not have been taken by the and they help not these risks not to pass on either to the retailer, or it should be it remains with the manufacturer as such. So they play a very important role as far as this risk bearing aspect in this business world is concerned. Now, let's focus on the various services by the wholesalers to the manufacturer or the producers, as I have been discussing it as to from the both the ends, because the wholesaler is in between the manufacturer and the retailer, or we can say is the plays and an intermediary to these two categories in the supply chain. So the first is in this, the important aspect to focus on is that the producer can concentrate on manufacturing product on large scale, because he knows that the wholesaler would sell the product. So therefore, because the wholesaler puts his demand onto the producer, and therefore the producer can very well concentrate only on the manufacturing aspect, and therefore the distribution aspect is being passed on. This risk has been passed on to the wholesalers. Second is the firm or the producer is relieved from the botheration or risk of distributing his products and can concentrate on manufacturing only. This is again I have just discussed. The wholesaler undertakes to purchase the goods and store them immediately on production, and therefore the what it implies is that the manufacturer, passes on the goods to the wholesaler immediately, and therefore there is no need for the manufacturer to store the products in his godowns. Number two, there is no, the product is sold on day one, and therefore various kinds of the taxes being levied on is being the wholesaler is the manufacturer is relieved from those. The next is sometimes the wholesaler provides financial support to producers by making advance payments discussed right just now, and the wholesaler undertakes risk in dealing with varied products by different manufacturers. So wholesaler keeps on the various products from the different manufacturers, and then as per the requirement of the retailers, looking into the market conditions or the requirement for the products conditions, they ask the wholesaler to give them the desired quantity to pass on to the consumers. Now, the services by wholesalers to the retailers. The wholesalers often sells goods and products to retailers on credit. Similarly, as the wholesaler gives the money to the or the advance payment to the manufacturer, here also the wholesaler sells his lot or goods to the retailers on credit. The wholesaler shares their expertise and specialized knowledge to retailers about new product and markets. Now, for example, there is a new product which has come, which comes into the market, and therefore these wholesalers, they gather because they have got the expertise of the total market, about the total scenario in a broad framework. And the retailers, they have got the knowledge and expertise of the local markets, whereas the wholesaler, they have the knowledge and the expertise as far as a broader area is concerned, maybe geographical area I'm talking about, and therefore they assure the retailers about the benefits of the new products, or they suggest about the market to be tapped by the retailers for these new products. The next is the retailers can purchase in small lots of various types of products and need not block money in bulk purchases, and therefore avoid risks associated with storage of bulk quantities. And therefore, one of the important aspects with the retailers is because of the paucity of the money, so they do not have much finances with them, and there are small operators in the whole supply chain or in the whole system, marketing system, distribution system, and therefore they can purchase small quantities from these wholesalers, and they generally it helps it helps the retailers to buy in one go the small quantities. And the last is in most of the cases, the wholesaler assists retailers in promotions, advertising of the products, because the wholesaler, they have got big amount, they are financially they are sound uh, as far as the retailers, small retailers are concerned, and therefore they take the initiative for the promotions and the advertising of the products, so that the product is known to the consumers in under those areas where the retailers are operating, and therefore it helps in the in educating the customers by and large, so that they ask for the product from the retailers. That's all for in this video. In the upcoming video, I will discuss on the retailers, their functions and their benefits to the manufacturer and the society. Thank you.